IT Hero Podcast Show. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Now we are on episode 7 in IT Hero Podcast Show. And today we have someone who is joining all the way from UK, a project management professional and a 10 times AWS certified professional and currently working in AWS itself. So I am super excited and honored to have Dinesh on the show. Hi, Dinesh.
Hello, hi. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So my first question, AWS is a dream company for a lot of us. I am curious to know how is job at AWS?
Oh, it is very nice environment to work at. I mean, there are so many interesting stuff happening around always. You know, as you would be expecting, there is a lot of clever people around as well. So you need to be always on your feet, and there is a lot to explore and learn always. So that's
Awesome.
something always you will enjoy. Yeah.
Nice. I like the part when you said there are a lot of interesting and smart people around, and that gives you a lot
Yes.
of, to be on the feet all the day. Thanks.
Yeah.
Now, give us
Yeah.
a brief intro about your journey, where you started and where you are today.
So yeah, I started my career as a typical software engineer back in Chennai. I was working with Polaris Software Labs to start with.
Okay.
Um, it's an interesting journey because I started my first job as configuration management person. So
Okay.
typically, the code will be checked in, and we will be sitting and labeling the code. This is ready for SAT, this is ready for UAT, this is ready for production and stuff. And then we will run the build tool. The build tool will pick up the right labeled files, and then the deployable will move forward and get deployed. So that's a very interesting start because I think everyone, for that matter, should learn how configuration management works, how stuff moves from one stage to another stage. So I mean, I still strongly believe that's a great place for anyone to start their software career, understanding how stuff moves around before it goes to production. And then I eventually became Java software engineer, and then I was doing more Java development for some time, and then moved to IBM. I was
Okay.
with IBM for 8 or 10 odd years.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I've been working in UK for last 10 or 11 years, and eventually found my way to the solutions architecture side of things.
Nice.
And here, right now I'm doing solutions architecture as my primary job. That's me.
Great, great. So that's a very inspiring story from where you started and where you are today. Now, if somebody wants to pursue and become a solution architect, what are the core skill set that is required? Do they really need to be a programmer or the software development is required?
Um, I think so. So solutions architecture is a very interesting area because it's it it is technical. It is technical, but as well as you need to empathize and understand the actual business problems as well. So solutions architecture is a unique place where just being completely technical on its own is not going to help you, or just being totally business oriented is not going to help you. You should be in that unique position where you can understand the business problems from their perspective, the technical problems from their perspective, and then act like a bridge
Okay.
between this business domain and the technical domain to make things happen. So you envision something that will actually complement whatever the technology team is trying to achieve, as well as whatever the business team is trying to achieve in terms of strategy. So that way, actually, I wouldn't say just technical or just business would do the trick, but it is mix of both that will actually make you a good solutions architect. Yeah.
Got it. So flavor of technology and
Yes.
communication
Yes.
skills. Yeah, nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Who all can become a solution architect if
Oh,
you?
anyone for that matter. As I said, I was inspired with the discussion that you had with Jack, the very first podcast you guys had. If I remember right, he was totally out of technology,
Yeah.
and he ventured into cloud with. So as long as you have the passion and drive to do it, and you actually put in the right amount of effort to actually, get to understand the basics, get things right in your head,
Yeah.
anyone can, for that matter, actually become solutions architect and pursue career in cloud. I strongly believe you can be whatever you want. It just needs your effort and intentions, and it will get you there. Yeah,
Great. Thank you. That's a nice line for motivation. Jack Level
yeah.
is a shop attendant, and I think a year back he was introduced into cloud, and yeah, that's a really inspirational talk.
Yes, yes, yes. I always say this to my friends or colleague whoever I talk to. Basically, most of the time we spend our precious energy in self doubt. If you look at it, right, the great people who have achieved, either it be like Sachin or A.R. Rahman or whoever you might have as inspiration, they had very less doubts about themselves. Probably Sachin would have had no doubt that he was a great batsman. He knew that he was a great batsman. He was all focusing to get it refined. So if you really actually, get that self-doubt away and focus on what you want to become, then that's a precious energy saved there. You could actually use that for something useful. Half the time I see people, I always, I personally add my own queries, whether am I, an Amazon material or Google material. Everyone has that doubt. I think that's just waste of time. You need to strongly believe you are it and go for it. That's the way to pursue it. Yeah,
Nice, Dinesh. That's a beautiful quote. I think I should remember this and put that in my quick notes to see this often. Great time and energy
yeah,
spent on self-doubt by Dinesh. Good one. Thank you.
yeah.
Good one. Now you were a software engineer, and then you slowly, transition into the solution architect role or cloud. How did this transition happen? How much time, or it did just happened eventually, or how does it work?
No, I think you will slowly. I think in my case at least, I slowly figured it out. In the sense, I had more curiosity to understand the business problems. Many a times, if we look at software developers, they are more focused in solving the technical problems, which is very, very important because we want someone to actually go out there and do things at ground. You
Yeah,
can't be always talking at high level. You need to get stuff done.
yeah,
But the being a bridge between that technical domain and business domain is equally important, um, because for the business stakeholders who are sitting and actually trying to make decisions for those business outcomes, the way they look at things is totally different, and the way they map it to the technology world is totally different. So I think you need to actually enjoy that process of solving it from both the angles.
mm,
Then you would love the solutions architecture space. um, so you should be someone who should get equally excited with the technology elements of it and
yeah.
equally excited with the business problems that the business is trying to solve.
Okay,
Then solutions architecture would naturally be a great fit for you.
understood. Thank you. Now, about your certifications, I did mention in the introduction that you're 10 times certified in AWS. How did you do it? People are stuck in doing one or two certifications. So give us some tips or tricks.
Oh, I would say it's just the drive actually, the first one, I should be honest here. When I was a solutions architect already. When I did my very first certification, the solutions architecture associate, I failed the
Oh,
very first one. Yes.
okay.
So I mean, I don't, I want to be honest there. So if anyone actually, you could be a great solutions architect, but cloud world is unique. I was totally new to cloud, and I did that first AWS certification out of my own interest. My job role did not demand it. I was curious about cloud, and I wanted to actually learn it myself. So I did my own learning, and then it was a reality check. You feel like you are not it there, and then I went back to drawing board. I did my own homework again. At that point I had no sort of a clear learning path or anything. I just took whatever I could see from internet and then took the test. But I think everyone should actually go through that learning curve and realize their gaps. So you might be a great solutions architect already, but you would always see in LinkedIn, um, people will be happily telling, yes, I failed, and then I went back and then I bridged my gaps and then fixed it. So first time after that, I cleared my solutions architect associate, and then there was a year or two gap. I didn't do much of certifications after that, and then after joining AWS, I went in full throttle, because day in day out, actually you will have to be interacting with customers, solving their problems. Little
Yeah.
time do you think do you get to actually update yourself?
Hmm.
So you need to be like on the up to date stuff, whatever is happening in the AWS world, or the cloud world in general. So it is for my own selfish reasons I decided to get it all done. In fact, there is only one, I guess, the database one. I don't have time for it, so I've just left it for later on. Maybe I will get it done, but you know my way of preparation was totally different, and it may not work for all of us. Take your time. It's not like I finished it in 1 year or 3 year matters. Whether or not we learned our stuff or not matters, because there's no point in actually digesting dump and boasting that I've completed these many certifications. So there is no point in it.
Yeah.
End of the day, when a customer discussion comes, or
Hmm.
when someone brings you a problem, are you able to put that to use and make something out of it during a real world conversation?
Yeah.
That's what actually decides whether you're a good architect or a great architect. So all these certifications are good, but what is in your head after you got it all done, and whether you can put it to real world use, is what matters. Yeah.
Understood. Understood. So yeah, so curiosity plus hard work both are required to get certified.
Yes, very much. And just go for it. And so the way I did my certifications, just if someone is listening and if they're curious, how did I prepare for it?
Yeah.
So I will do the learnings from all the great materials out there. There is so many materials from Udemy, A Cloud Guru. There are so many materials out there. You take it, you digest it, you take some preparation exams, and then if you see a gap, always look for the gaps. Yeah.
Okay.
If you get an answer wrong, then go back and think, what was your thought process when you actually answered that question with that answer, and why did you think that way, and what is
Hmm.
the actual way to look about it, and what is the right thought process. Then slowly do course correction. At some point you will be very comfortable with your answers and with your preparatory exams that you're taking, and then you're ready. That's it. And I think I like the point earlier, as I said, the what Jack mentioned as well. I really fix the dates. I i don't i don't just postpone stuff. I fix the date and I just go for it. Other rest will all fall in place. Yeah. Otherwise it'll all be like the procrastination kicks in, and you will keep on postponing stuff, and
Yeah.
it takes time to materialize.
Got it. Got it. Thanks, Dinesh. So that feedback loop, what you mentioned, is really crucial. Finding the gaps and going back to it and filling it up. So that's a very interesting point.
Yeah, I don't look at it like, did I get 75% or 80%? No, or 95%, doesn't matter. But that 5%, whatever you missed, what was your thought process when you answered that question? What did you
Hmm.
get? Did you understand the question right? If you understood the question right, did you understood the answers right? Why did you actually choose whatever you chose?
Hmm.
That I think that course correction is what actually makes you get better results.
Got it. Now, did you had any rewarding certificate, any challenging one out of this 10?
I would say networking was the most challenging one. The people have their picks. For example, until I finished solutions architect professional, I thought solutions architect professional
Yeah.
would be the probably the toughest one. It's not toughest because of the complicated questions, because of the lengthy questions.
Yeah.
Solutions architect professional, they will throw you a paragraph of a question, and then there will be 4 paragraphs of answers for you to actually digest them all and actually arrive at whatever is the right one in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, how much ever you have to spare for a given question.
Hmm.
Was challenging is what I thought, but then networking on its own is actually was a different beast for me to tackle, because I don't come from networking background. The least I
Okay.
have done is connecting a Ethernet cable to the laptop, um, and for me to actually look at that networking cert and then catch up with a decade of stuff that has happened in networking world and assimilate it and look at it from the cloud perspective. um, so I failed once in my networking cert, and then I will have to go back to drawing board and get my stuff right before I go back again. But I went back for it in another couple of weeks. So I see, there are so many experts out there in the cloud industry who have failed it and gone back to it. So there's nothing wrong in failing. Yeah, if you go fail, don't worry. Just go back and understand where your gaps are. I think that's the most crucial part, because none of these certs will actually help you
Mm.
in real world.
Yeah,
They may land you a good chance or an opportunity, but once you land it, you need to get stuff done, right?
yeah.
So for that, you need to really understand it right in your head. Otherwise, nothing is going to help you.
Great stuff. I really like the honest answers from you, Dinesh. And now, if somebody is starting into the solution architect world, they are already in cloud, they want to transition into a solution architect role. Do you have any suggestions for them?
I think the best I would say is actually, if you have colleagues who are already solutions architect, maybe they will be already having conversations with customers. As solutions architect, day in day out, what we do is we discuss with customers. They
Mm.
bring us unique problems they are trying to solve across industry, just not it may not be just financial services. We talk to customers from financial services, gaming, whatnot, and we talk about IoT one day, we talk about AML one day, another day data analytics, big data. So the subject keeps changing, and there is a lot to catch up. But the most foundational knowledge, or a skill, probably I would say, someone should equip as a solutions architect, is looking at it from the customer's perspective, understanding the pain points from the customer's perspective. Don't jump into technology, don't jump into solutions immediately.
Yeah.
First, I mean, that is a skill, that is an art by itself.
Mm.
Putting yourself in the customer's shoes, understanding what they want right now, understanding what will help them in long term, and then actually making it more a collaborative exercise. Arriving at the solution should be more like a collaborative exercise, rather than, okay, you came with this problem, this is the solution, you can go on to it. That skill, people will develop. More and more customer conversations they have, more and more they will develop it. So if you are let's say, if you are a software development engineer, then put yourself in places where the discussions are happening, like business analyst discussions are happening,
Yeah.
or product manager discussions are happening. How
Mm.
are they actually envisioning the product to be? What sort of technology components would add value to that process? So more and more you'll be part of that conversation, more and more you will get to see that side of the world, and you will slowly know how to actually make conversations in that setup, and
Yeah.
bring value with your technology
Mm.
knowledge that you have got
Mm.
in those conversations. I think that would be the right start, and then slowly, as
Yeah.
get better at it and mature as a individual, you can go and do it on your own. Yeah. and
Great.
and on the other side, you need to keep yourself updated with all the technology stuff happening at the same pace. One analogy that I would quote is, um, at least in the AWS world, right? I would compare it to you driving a car. Let's say you are driving a car,
Okay.
and all the buttons and switches that you see are always changing, let's say, and you're still driving. The
Yeah.
car is moving, yeah, and everything is changing around you, and there will be someone peeping out of the window and asking you how to use this button, while you're still figuring out yourself. That's the speed at which the technology is changing. So while you're
Mm.
grooming all these business skills, you should still be keeping yourself updated, up to date with the technology side of things as well. That's the fine balance you need to strike as a solutions architect professional. You know,
Awesome, Dinesh. I think you summed up everything with that analogy of car and technology, and I really love your communication skill and the way you transfer things even a layman could understand. So really appreciate that. Good job. And now we're at the end
my
of this
pleasure.
show. Thank you. We're at the end of the show now, and apart from the technology and the business, I see you're a great person, and I can see that you have a lot of philosophical thoughts when you said the great time and energy spent on self-doubt. That really clicked a spark on me, and so that's a good one. Thank you again. And if you have any final words, we can wrap it up.
No, it was a great interview, I should say. And I did see a couple of your interviews before. I'm glad you are doing this because there are so many aspirants out there. And I believe some of these conversations, when people like me or someone actually who is out there doing stuff shares their own personal experience and what they have realized from whatever they have experienced, then that is going to inspire. So if there is if even one soul out there gets inspired by this conversation or by the other conversations you have had with great people out there, then that's great thing. So I should actually give you accolades for
Thank you.
having this podcast going. And and I like the way you keep it humble. That's the best way to go about it. And wish you guys the best of luck for all your future podcasts as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dinesh, and a really great conversation. And as I
Yeah.
told you, I am inspired now. I am definitely going to crack more certifications and learn the concepts. And one day, I wish I become a solution architect like you. So thank you so much for all the motivation throughout the call. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, buddy. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. IT Hero Podcast Show.